Postgame show coming to you live from Studio A of our CHGO offices here in the West Loop of Chicago. I'm your host, Sean Anderson. Alongside me, Vinnie Duber, our CHGO White Sox beat writer. You can read his work at allchgo.com. Man in the middle is Herb Lawrence.
Hello.
Our CHGO White Sox community leader. I'm Sean Anderson. We're being produced today by Sarah. Hello. White Sox lose 4-3 in 13 innings. I want one word to describe this game.
Unending.
Well, it did end.
I mean, yeah, but that was descriptive, I feel like.
Boring.
Okay, perfect.
So stick with us for the next hour. We'll be talking about it.
Dreadful is mine. We did see the return of Yoan Moncada in a White Sox uniform. Why don't we just start there? Because I asked the question, and Vinny, you kind of admonished me.
I did.
To be fair.
Yeah.
Hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you subscribe to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. The tragic number for the White Sox is now 4. This is loss 117. They are 4 losses away from setting the MLB record and standing and holding that record alone. For most losses in a single season, 3 to tie the 1962 Mets. But
with 9 games to play.
With 9 games to play.
Correct.
3 against San Diego coming up. Off day tomorrow. We have a show tomorrow for you. We have 3 games against the Angels again, and then 3 games against the red hot Detroit Tigers.
White hot Tigers.
White hot Tigers.
Yeah. Sorry, it's the Panther. My bad.
You're all right. Hey, well, yeah, no. John Schriffen will show you how it's done, right? Give him the Schriffen growl, Sarah. Oh, down a little. It's Thank you. I brought up this question. Believe it was in the 11th inning. We see Yoan Moncada make his return to the White Sox. Pinch runner for Andrew Vaughn, who was the DH. I just brought up and had the thought before the game. This was not during the game at all. I didn't question this when it happened, but should they have pinch ran for Andrew Vaughn? Is Yoan Moncada, who Lamont Pope reported today is still not 100%. Is that the better option than Andrew Vaughn running? Because you have Moncada come up with the bases loaded. I'd rather have Vaughn in that situation against the lefty than Moncada.
Well, sure, but I think the move was made to make sure that inning, that 13th inning, never came about. The idea that probably most anybody on that roster, I say most anybody, I'm not up to date on my White Sox sprint speeds, but is a fleeter foot than Andrew Vaughn. And the idea was, there could be a hit of some fashion that lands in a spot where Andrew Vaughn would not be able to score. Yoan Moncada might. Maybe there's a shallow sacrifice fly type ball at some point. Andrew Vaughn maybe wouldn't be able to pick up enough steam to get home, and maybe Yoan Moncada does. So I'm sure Grady Sizemore made that move with the intention of avoiding any more at-bats, let alone one for Yoan Moncada 9 places later. But that's where it ended up.
No, it wasn't bad for Grady to do that move. I actually preferred that move because he is faster than Andrew Vaughn. He just has to have Gavin Sheets or I think Corey Lee, and I think the last guy was Miguel Vargas to come through. The man was at second base. All you need to do is put bat to ball. The first batter, I think, was Gavin, who hit the ball in the air or ground out, so Yoan gets to go to third, and then you get a strikeout by Corey Lee and then a ground out by Miguel Vargas. So I don't have a problem with him batting or having Yoan Moncada go to second. We all seen Andrew Vaughn. He's slow as hell. And I don't care if Yoan Moncada has one leg. He's probably faster than Andrew Vaughn.
Just to go to StatCast, Andrew Vaughn's sprint speed, 26.4 feet per second. Yoan Moncada's 26.8 feet per second. So I don't know if that is this year.
Yeah, but it's 11 games. Give me last year's. Give me with a full year, like
26.4. So he's the same exact speed.
Okay.
Healthy Moncada in 2023. I think we're all thinking of 2017 Moncada when he was 21. He's had so many leg injuries. My thought is I'd rather see Moncada bat for Vargas with Vaughn at third. I don't know if that's the right substitution. I understand I'm questioning a 117 lost team in an extra inning game, but I think it's pretty stupid for when you have, as little as, adequate hitters as you do to take one of them out of the game. You're not having Robert in this game at all. He sat on the bench the entire time. You're taking out your second hottest hitter in Andrew Vaughn for a guy that's completely cold. I don't think it makes sense looking back at it.
But they're not taking him out for the bat. They're taking him out for running purposes.
Yeah, they're the same exact speed.
Yeah, but the
guy's hurt.
I know that says that, but seriously, do you think Yoan Moncada is as fast as Andrew Vaughn?
I think if you're giving them, you're putting them both in left field, like down the left field line in Anaheim, you're making them run from the wall to home plate. Vaughn wins.
We don't.
God. Come on, Sean.
You don't even know
300-foot sprint.
Come on, Sean.
Why are you putting them?
Speeds say that they're the exact same.
Why are you putting them down the left field line in Anaheim? We have the ultimate White Sox speed test in the alley back here, as we know.
Goddamn right.
So Yoan Moncada, Andrew Vaughn, you're welcome to stop by our alley whenever you want. Just to go to Moncada and Lamont Pope, who writes for the Chicago Tribune. He talked to Moncada today. Moncada said, "Man, I've waited to get back since I was injured, but it was a long process, and you have to follow these steps to make sure your body healed." Moncada said this through interpreter Bailey Russo. "Definitely since day one, I wanted to get back." But again, and Lamont mentions that Yoan is not feeling 100%. I don't think it was the smartest decision about Grady. I don't think it matters. Grady's not going to be the manager next year. They have 117 losses. We're all going to die one day. Yada, yada, yada. Hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribed to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. Is there anything else in extra innings that grabs your attention? Carson Fulmer getting his return.
How about that? I didn't listen. We're going to talk later on. I believe you've dedicated a little bit more time than just a passing comment to how little we know about the current modern day Los Angeles Angels. But if you would have told me before the White Sox went out to Southern California this week that Carson Fulmer not only is on the team but has been all year and has pitched in like 30 games, I would have been like, you gotta be bleeping me.
You got to be bleeping me. Yes.
But yeah, I mean, listen, how weird is it just that there were 12 games to play in the season, and there was an opponent that the White Sox hadn't even seen yet, right? I mean, usually you when you're so paying so close attention to one team, you familiarize yourself with the rest of the league by that team that you're following playing everybody else over the course of the season. But here we are, the season's about to be over, and we have not seen a lick of the Los Angeles Angels yet. And there he was, Carson Fulmer.
And you had a ton of names just within this lineup that you could not recognize at all. I mean,
I was driving in listening to DJ read the lineups on the radio broadcast before the game started, and I thought he was just like picking names out of a phone book.
So why don't we do this now? We brought up the idea. The criteria for this game is one game played. I will give you 2 minutes. Both of you are on a team to name as many 2024 Angels as you can.
Okay.
Then
we did just watch the game, which is helpful, but yeah.
But it is helpful.
Yes.
So we will see with that help if you can name more 2024 Angels than you can 2020 or 2002 Angels.
Okay.
You will have 2 minutes to name as many 2024 Angels.
Okay.
And then 2 minutes to name as many 2000 Angels.
Okay.
3, 2, starting with 2024.
Yeah.
1, go.
Mike Trout.
Mike Trout.
That Noel Chanel guy.
Shanwell.
Whatever.
Yes.
Anthony Rendon.
Anthony Rendon counts.
That JD Adele, whatever his name is.
Joe Adele?
Joe Adele. There you go.
Carson Fulmer.
Carson Fulmer counts.
Logan O'Hoppe.
Logan O'Hoppe counts.
Zach Nato.
Zach Nato counts.
The North Atlantic Treaty Organization.
Jack Lopez, who I knew was a person yesterday.
Yeah, Jack Lopez counts.
The guy, the tall guy, Wagaman.
Wagaman.
There you go.
Correct. Eric Wagaman.
The guy who got the winning hit. Jordan Adams.
Jordan Adams. There you go.
Jared Walsh.
Jared Walsh, I don't think was.
Isn't he the guy that was just playing early?
No, Jared Walsh is in.
Or that's the White Sox guy.
Yeah, that's the guy who was in Angel and is now in Charlotte.
Today. He had 24 homers. You were mad he didn't bunt.
Yeah, I was really pissed that he didn't bunt. Goddamn, there is nobody.
He was like the only guy I had heard of coming into this game. And
I can't even name him.
Oh, Brandon Drury.
Yes, that's not who you're thinking of, though.
Yeah.
It's not
Taylor Ward.
Taylor Ward. There you go.
Syndergaard. He's not on team anymore.
No, Syndergaard is not. I'll check for you, but I don't think Syndergaard made a start.
Giolito was last year.
There is a crazy former White Sox apparently on this team.
Really?
Yeah. Apparently, he made one.
Was
two appearances actually.
Is he still in the team? The guy they used to call Tempura. Is he still in the team? With Ryan Tempura?
No. Now I'm distracting you. You can not Ryan Tempura.
Tempura.
About 15 seconds.
Oh boy. We just watched a 13-inning game in which they used every pitcher in their bullpen.
You've named one pitcher.
Who started this game?
Some big tall dude. I wrote his name down.
He had a Polish name. What was it?
Long as hell.
Yeah.
You're correct.
Totally forget. Something with a K. Yeah.
Yeah, Kachinowski.
Yeah.
All right. We got
not going to work here anymore.
And also the guy I was trying to mention, Johnny Cueto.
Oh, that is a crazy former White Sox.
Reed Detmer's not mentioned.
Oh, wow.
The best pitcher.
No Ben Joyce either. But you got Carson Fulmer, Eric Wagaman, Jordan Adams, Jack Lopez. So that's 4. Mike Trout is 5. You can also have Adele 6, Ward 7, Rendon 8, Neto 9, Drury 10, Shanuel 11, and then Ohapi 12. You did not name future White Sox Mickey Moniak.
Son of a bitch.
You did not name former White Sox Kevin Pillar.
Oh,
He's
Kevin
still on the team?
Pillar.
Did he not play this whole series?
I don't think he's on the IL.
I'm about to say, you get DFA.
There was also Miguel Sano, Cole Tucker, Aaron Hicks,
Miguel Sano is on the Angels this year?
Heston Hurstad.
They just take old people.
Yeah. Johnny Cueto.
No, wait. You said Heston Kjerstad?
Keston Hira.
I'm about to say, what
former.
Why is he not playing?
Brewer. All right, we'll stop that. There's also Amir Garrett on this team. Okay, so
Jesus.
12. Right? No, 11.
Misfit Toys
11?
right there.
1,
12, you said.
2, 3,
12.
4,
Okay.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12. All right. So 2002 Angels. Same thing.
We're
2
gonna
minutes
crush
on the
this,
clock.
yeah.
1 game. You got to be
first,
12.
Vinny.
All right.
3, 2, 1, go.
Darren Erstad.
Darren Erstad.
John Lackey.
John Lackey.
Adam Kennedy.
Adam Kennedy.
Wow. Garrett Anderson.
Kennedy counts. Anderson counts.
David Eckstein.
Eckstein counts.
Tim Salmon.
Salmon counts.
Troy Gloss.
Glaus counts.
Go ahead, Vinny. If you
Benji Molina.
Benji Molina counts.
Jose Molina.
Jesus Christ.
Jose Molina. Wow.
Steve Finley.
No.
Not there yet.
No. I don't
Troy Percival.
Oh, my
think so. Percival,
God.
yes.
K-Rod.
Rookie
year, right? Yeah.
20.
How many I got?
Just 20 years old. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
10. Jared Washburn.
Yep.
Goodness gracious. Vinny's going to have them all.
Scott Schoenweiss.
Oh, my
Schoenweiss.
God. Number 60. Former White Sox, great, too.
Ben Weber. Relief pitcher?
The hell? If you
that
get
right?
that one, ridiculous. There ain't no way.
No,
No?
I'm not getting. Oh, Ben Weber.
What the hell? What the hell? What the hell?
There's some like big Angels names here too. That like
We got Garrett Anderson. We got Tim Salmon. Jose Guillen?
no, not Guillen.
No.
Big
Wasn't the guy I was
Angels
thinking.
names.
At least to me they are.
They're big names to Sean. We got to get more pitchers.
There's a former
Ramon Ortiz?
Ramon Ortiz.
Yeah.
There's a former White Sox. There's a current White Sox coach, I believe, who's on this team.
Drew Butera?
No,
Not Matt Wise. Matt Wise?
Matt Wise.
Wow. I didn't know he was that old.
26.
I can name Mike Scioscia.
He was the manager.
Yeah.
Joe Madden was the bench coach, wasn't he?
I tell you what.
I don't know.
Yeah.
15 seconds.
Vinny's got all these. Ben, whatever the fuck guy his name,
That was
Weber.
crazy.
That was ridiculous.
How many did I get?
I don't know. You got 6 seconds if you want to name any more.
No.
You give up?
Yeah. they're not
Former
springing
Mets
to me.
manager Mickey Callaway was also on this team.
I didn't know.
Matt Weiss, John Lackey, K-Rod, Percival, Schoenweiss, Washburn, Weber, Molina.
Times 2.
Yeah, Molina twice. Salmon, Kennedy, Erstad, Eckstein, Glaus, Anderson.
15.
15. There you go. Scott Spezio also played
Oh, Sand Frog.
Yeah,
Illinois guy, too.
he played 153. You also had my guy, Sean Figgins.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And
Kenny's guy, he missed every year.
Oh, I didn't even give you Ramon Ortiz. So get
up
count
to
Ramon-
16.
Yeah,
There we
count
go.
Ramon Ortiz as well.
Who? I didn't know Ben Weber was a person, and you know him as a 2002 Angel.
Yeah, did you go to high school with Ben Weber?
MLB Showdown, baby.
Oh, there you go. All right, we're going to take a break, and we'll let you
Jesus
know about our
Christ.
friends over at Shady Rays and Prize Picks. We want to let you know about our friends over at Shady Rays. Get ready for the season ahead with quality shades built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered with premium polarized shades that won't break the bank. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company offering a world-class product rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Their shades have durable frames and crystal clear optics, making them the perfect choice for all outdoor adventures. They have hundreds of options to choose from, so you're bound to find the perfect pair to match your style. And they probably have a style in your favorite team's colors. We love rocking our black shades as White Sox fans. And the best part, too, if your shades ever go missing or take an unexpected hit, don't sweat it. They have the most insane protection program in all of eyewear. Every pair of pair is backed by lost or broken replacements. If you don't love your shades, exchange them for a new pair or return worry-free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop. Their team always has your back with personal and fast support. Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Head to shadyrays.com and use code CHGO for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Vinny looks good in his pair. I look good in my pair. Shadyrays.com, code CHGO.
PrizePicks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. PrizePicks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps on PrizePicks, it's just you against the numbers. All you have to do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. Get in on the daily action with your friends and become part of the PrizePick community today. You can win up to You can win up to 100 times your money with PrizePicks in as little as 4 correct picks. You can turn $10 into 1,000. With 1 Caleb Williams passing yard, you get 1 win on PrizePicks every week in September. That's right. Only 1 yard gets you an automatic win every football weekend in September. 4 weeks of free W's. Don't miss out on this deal on PrizePicks because it's gone when September ends. And PrizePicks is available in more than 30 states across the country, including California, Texas, Georgia, and right here in sweet old Illinois. My go-to PrizePicks at the moment, of course, the points, the rebounds, and assists for Caitlin Clark, and I put those together with the free one that I get every week with Caleb Williams getting 1 yard, and I think I cash in every week because she has been balling ever since the Olympic break. If you haven't been watching Caitlin Clark, she's going to be all first team WNBA player this year. Not the MVP because that's all Asia Wilson's scored 1,000 points this year. Download the app today and use the code CHGO for a first deposit match up to $100. That's code CHGO for a first deposit match up to $100. PrizePicks, pick more, pick less. It's that easy. It's that easy.
Herb, we didn't get Kevin Napier or Aaron
White Sox. Is that what the one you're going with?
Or we didn't get Aaron Seeley. We didn't get Brad Fulmer. We didn't get Jeff Devannon. Nor did we get the guy who I believe was the winning pitcher in the 2003 All-Star game at Guaranteed Rate Field, Brendan Donnelly.
Really?
Believe he was the winning pitcher. Could be wrong, but
a lot of Angels doing well because didn't Garrett Anderson have a home run there?
He won the home run derby that year.
Brendan Donnelly was the winning pitcher. Who got the save?
Jesus Christ.
For the American League? Mariano Rivera?
No, Keith Folk.
Former White Sox.
Rivera was a good guess.
Yeah, Rivera was a good guess. Way to pat yourself on the back there, Vinny.
I know that game was the first game that it counted.
It was.
The All-Star game.
This time it counts.
This time it counts.
Can you remember the homers in that game? There's 2 for the NL side, and
I remember we got the game-winning hit, Hank Blaylock.
Yeah, 3. Yeah, that was a homer.
Yeah.
And then Garrett hit one, Jason Giambi hit one, and then Todd Helton, Andrew Jones. So
wow, what a crew!
White Sox legend, Andrew Jones.
A couple Hall of Famers should be Hall of Famer, Andrew Jones.
Yes. All right, let's get into Zach DeLoach talk.
Question mark?
Please stay with us, folks.
This season cannot come to an end soon.
Zach DeLoach's family's like, yeah, let's get into Zach DeLoach talk.
Remember when John Braby, as a family member, joined us when he first signed? Like, very excited for John.
Yeah. They were filling us in on the whole beard situation, which
that's true.
Proved correct.
It was helpful.
Yeah.
Where is he now? Atlanta? He's been good with Atlanta.
He hooked on with somebody, yeah.
Hit the thumbs up button. We have 30 people watching, only 6 people with the thumbs up. So make sure if you are hanging around, hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribing to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. We did see the lineup today. Zach DeLoach was batting second and playing center field. Did that surprise you guys? We had Fletcher in right, Benintendi in left, DeLoach manning center field. Not crazy because he's played some in the minor leagues at center, but his first appearance with the Sox. What did you make of DeLoach in center?
Yeah, I was a little surprised, but again, I guess at the end of the year here, when we know they're far, far, far removed from playoff contention, I mean, I guess you go ahead and figure out what you got, right? And DeLoach is a guy, we looked it up, who has played some in center field at AAA this year. Not the regular center fielder down there at AAA, but he's played more than 20 games there, so it's something that is in his toolbox. I guess they're trying to figure out if it could be part of his toolbox at the major league level. Might as well start finding that out now.
Yeah, and usually what they do when Luis Robert needs a day off, they put Dominic Fletcher in center field. He's played there both in the minor leagues and the major leagues, but might as well see if Zach can do anything in center field because the bat has not been there both in the minors and right now in the majors. And you keep Dominic Fletcher in the spot that he shines in. You saw the throw that he made on a tag up where he's pretty much catching the ball in right center field, doing a 360 pirouette and throwing a dart to third base and almost getting that runner out. But so you keep him there in his normal regular position, and you say, Zach DeLoach, go ahead and try out Angel Field and see how you do. And I didn't see anything egregious on Zach DeLoach. I didn't see much balls hit to center field in today.
Yeah, I mean, he just really can't hit. He had a hit today, right? One, I think.
Out of 5 at-bats, yeah.
1 for 5. His OPS plus on the year is 29.
It's not very good.
I think it might have moved up a little bit with the hit, but he hasn't been super impressive. I don't really know if it's about DeLoach being able to play center or more of maybe Fletcher kind of owning right field, and that's been exciting. Fletcher hasn't really shown a lot of prowess with the bat, but they committed to Fletcher. I think he's still got 4 years of control. They traded a player that was only 20 years old in Christian Mena. I think that's going to be their right fielder. We talked about locks for this roster. I think Fletcher, because of his age and just because he's new to this team, this isn't Vaughn or Sheets who have been kicking around since 2020, 2021. I think Fletcher is probably as close as you can get to a position player lock.
And Chris Getz is the one who brought him in. It's not like Chris is working with a lot of the resources that was left from when the previous regime was in charge, even though he was a part of that regime in a pretty big way. But since he took over, one of the guys he's gone and got was Dominic Fletcher. And like you said, made a trade of a pretty well thought of pitching prospect in order to get him too. So I think the idea at the beginning of the season was that Dominic Fletcher was going to play right field all year long. Obviously, that got derailed mainly by the acquisition of Tommy Pham, but also Dominic Fletcher dealt with some injury issues himself in the early portion of the season. Spent a lot of time at AAA, and once Tommy Pham left via that trade to send him down to St. Louis, you've seen Dominic Fletcher, and you've seen him excel on the defensive side when it comes to right field. So you're right, the bat hasn't really been very impressive for him, but White Sox need people who do anything well at this point right now, and he seems to play right field really, really well. So, yeah, a day like today when Luis Robert Jr. is not there in center and Dominic Fletcher stays in right, it might be more of, hey, we'd rather have the closest we can get to, an elite level right fielder defensively than move him to center where he might not be quite as good. And you've seen that there. Keep him there, and why not play him there 6 months next year? He is a guy that they have invested in a way, and it would make sense that they'd want to see as much of him as possible while trying to figure out if he can be the guy in right field.
Yeah, it's one of the trades that he made in the offseason, so he's going to be pulling for this guy to be the guy that he traded for, as you talked about, Christian Mena, young right-hander who's got a little flame this year where he didn't have it for the White Sox. And so I'm thinking that he will be the front runner because of, firstly, he traded for him. Secondly, no one's coming. Who's coming for him? Oscar Colas?
Zach DeLoach?
That ship seems like it's sailed because he's not on the team right now. That would be a thing that's
shocking to me.
Yeah,
I mean, his numbers haven't been great, but that's shocking to me that Colas hasn't gotten any sort of run this year.
No, and it's like, okay, this is going to be Dominic Fletcher in right field, which I'm good with, as you guys just talked about. The defense is excellent, but the bat has not turned into anything. And it's not like a spring chicken. He'll be 27 next year. And without a bat and just all glove, and no speed, really, too. So what does he bring to the table? Only defense. Good, but also this team has a dearth of hitting. They don't need a bunch of glove dudes that can't hit. They only got one. They don't got anybody who can glove and hit. Please, get one.
Yeah, I mean, and even with Colas, it is surprising. But then again, I mean, we saw the struggles with Grifol and Colas last year. It just seems like Colas has not worked himself out of the doghouse enough with his play. It doesn't seem like his play has improved, or it seems like he's really adjusted well to Charlotte. He's even gotten worse, at least his Charlotte numbers compared to last year. So it seems like paired with the struggles that he had at the major league level, along with kind of just plateauing when it comes to growth, I think that's why we haven't seen Colas. It is surprising.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we had both Pedro Grifol and Chris Getz, who, by year's end, obviously becomes the more important voice if he wasn't already as the GM, but talking about how there was absolutely a path back to the major leagues for Oscar Colas, a way for him to get another shot at the major league level. And to me, him not getting any look on a team like this at this time of the year in a season like this, after you've traded all the guys that you needed to play in order to trade them, it shows me that maybe not only has he not been able to fix the more run-of-the-mill baseball things, right? Maybe his mastery of the strike zone is not where it needs to be, but that all those kind of glaring mistakes that he was making, be it in the field or on the base paths, tell me that hasn't been cleaned up either. A guy's been in your organization for more than 2 years now, and that part of things hasn't been cleaned up in a way that gets him another try at the major league level.
Well, and just to jump in, Herb, and you feel free to add on whatever else. We can't track the defense and running stuff, but at least you can track his hitting with StatCast via their minor league stats. His exit velocity, the exact same. His whiff percentage, literally the exact same at 26.7 compared to 23 and 24. His launch angle, the exact same, and his distance, the exact same. So at least hitter-wise, he's making the same exact contact. He's making the same exact swing decisions. Doesn't really seem like he's improving.
And they spent millions on this guy, too. I mean, this is not a draft pick. I mean, and even as he was, they could have spent millions on him, and with a signing bonus if he was a first-round pick or something. But they went out to get him as a international free agent and a very highly thought of one when they signed him. So they have invested in this guy, and just to say that's it, we're writing him off. No shot at the major league level. That's surprising me. I don't think he's going anywhere. We might be having more conversations about him come spring because he might just still be around. But to see as minimal major league playing time as we have from him this year has been very surprising to me.
Colas made his own bed last year with not doing what the White Sox asked him to do or doing it correctly. And so he got sent down multiple times. And I knew that, we all saw that he and Grifol never got into a groove. And I was thinking, okay, Pedro's gone. And you say the numbers are the same, and this is a worse team than it was last year. You can't get a sniff on the worst team in baseball history? Like, that, to me, tells me all I need to know about the White Sox relationship with Oscar Colas. It's over. Like, he's not getting a shot right now. That means that they don't want him to get a shot. They don't want to see him at the major league level. I mean, theoretically, he's hitting better or hit better at AAA than what Brian Ramos hit at AA, even though the need was there for Brian Ramos to come up to the major leagues when he did. And you saw Brian Ramos when he first came up. He hit the cover off the ball and then slowed down after an injury and now kind of relegated back to like a reserve role. I would just want him just to be on the team, to see, September baseball, to be an option off the bench where you don't get Luis Robert playing at all, having a full day off and not even being considered to be the pinch runner in the 12th inning like Yoan Moncada was. Why not? It doesn't make sense to me. You've invested a lot of money in this guy. You've already, this man has already cost somebody his job. Him and other players from the international market have cost Marco Patti his job. You might as well. You're going to keep him on the team. You're not getting any trade value for him. And he, at his highest ceiling, if he hits his potential, is better than what Dominic Fletcher could be. So I don't know why you don't just exhaust the Oscar Colas thing, especially next year. Just say, you know what? Let this thing be open. And if Colas wins over Dominic Fletcher, which we thought Colas would be our starting right fielder in 2023, I can't see how he fell off the table that much where he can't beat a dude that can't hit at all.
And this is why they should eat all of the money possible to trade Benintendi, to free up a position spot. Because why does he have to beat out Fletcher if he could just play left field?
Well, but he doesn't only have to beat out Fletcher. Guess who's beating him out? Zach DeLoach beat him out. Zach DeLoach is here. Yeah. Guess who's beating him out? Corey Jolks. Corey Jolks was here all season long. They went out and got Corey Jolks.
Yeah, they did.
They traded for him.
Yeah.
They already had Oscar Colas.
But I mean, hey,
And I'm not trying to
DeLoach
disparage either of those players, but I'm just saying it's very obvious where Oscar Colas sits on the depth chart, and it's very low.
Mm-hmm.
Is he above Rafael Ortega?
Rafael Ortega got called up to this team this year.
That's true. Well, I mean
Colas did
for
too.
a day,
yeah.
right? And then
Rafi Ortega was only here for a day.
He
was here for like a week.
Yeah, but I think Colas is like 4 walks to 10 strikeouts, so I think Colas probably beats him in at bats.
Could be.
Total at bats. We need to take a break. We're going to let you know about our friends over at Chevy. If you're in the market for a bigger vehicle, find the savings to match at Ray Chevrolet this September, because truck and SUV month is going on now. Head in today to shop their huge selection of new Chevy models at new low prices. Right now, take $3,000 up to $12,000 off MSRP on most new Chevy models, or cruise into fall your own way and shop over 125 of their vehicles priced under $20,000. As one of the top-selling Chevy dealers in the Midwest, you'll always be able to shop one of Chicagoland's largest Chevy inventories. Visit our partner this September at their location on Route 12 in Fox Lake or at raychevrolet.com. And if you've ever heard of Ray Chevrolet, then you've also heard of Ray's Price Promise. They're guaranteed to make your next vehicle more affordable than ever, with no price changing, no add-ons, and no hidden fees ever. That means the incredible prices we're talking about now, you can expect to see the very same when you shop Ray Chevy in-store or online. Shop truck and SUV month all month long by visiting Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or raychevrolet.com. They've been serving the community since 1963. Together, let's drive.
Guys, guess what state I'm going to be in this weekend?
Kentucky.
Oregon.
You're both wrong. The answer, of course, is Wisconsin.
Home
of some of the most delicious, nay, the most delicious beer known to man. I'm going camping this weekend in Wisconsin. And
I thought that was a paddle. It's a hockey stick.
It's a hockey stick. And you know what's perfect for camping is Liing Coug's beer. Now, it's also that perfect time of year where it's still kind of summer and getting into fall a little bit. So you know what? I'm feeling I'm going to mix and match my varieties. Little summer shandy, then move on to a little Oktoberfest.
I feel like you're lying. You
Why?
always talk about, the importance of being in Wisconsin, being able to get the original Linie brew. I feel like you're going to get the original Linie.
Sean, why not have all three?
Oh. Yeah.
Maybe throw a little honey vice in there.
They're gonna
Maybe
make
a little berry vice. They're going to need to make a new sampler just for me.
The Vinnie variety pack.
The Vinnie variety pack, exactly. We should get Jim on this and pitch.
Which 4 would you pick?
Ooh, that's a good question. Got to go with the summer shandy, obviously. I do love the honey vice. That sunset wheat is great.
It is.
And then, throw the original in there, obviously. So we're on to something here, I think, fellas. But whether you're going to Wisconsin or staying here, whether you're going to be by the lake, whether you're going to be camping, whether you're going to be tailgating, remember there's 3 more White Sox games left. You can go down to the rate and have a few more tailgates before the season is over. You need to bring Liing Coug's with you, and nothing goes better than that delicious summer shandy with all of your summertime activities. So, folks, go ahead and flavor life's simple moments with Liing Coug's, the official craft beer of the Chicago White Sox. Go to Linie.com/CHGO to find delivery options near you. That's LEINIE.com/CHGO. Or pick up Liing Coug's pretty much anywhere they sell beer. Liing Coug's, flavor the moment, celebrate responsibly. The Jacob Liing Coug Brewing Company, Chippewa Falls.
Yes! I think the real reason why Zach DeLoach has beaten out Oscar Colas for the roster spot is because he likely introduced, maybe it's Grady Sizemore, maybe it's Pedro Grifol, maybe it's the entire White Sox clubhouse, maybe it's Chris Getz, maybe it's the entire organization to the chocolate chip Pizookie. Thoughts?
Had to look up what that meant.
Yeah, when I was a child, delicious. Nothing better than a cookie inside of a skillet with a little ice cream on there to melt.
So good.
Delicious.
What do you mean when you were a kid?
I would go to Jewel right now and buy
and
one of those cookie cakes with all the frosting on it.
Oh, those are great.
I know it's different than the skillet.
Diabetes. So, having a cookie and ice cream like that is rough for me. But yeah, I guess he hasn't been traveled a lot, but to be your best favorite dessert, it's weird. It's odd.
I'm actually not going to criticize too much.
I am.
That's a pretty good dessert.
Travel a little
My
bit,
wife
Zach.
makes the skillet cookie, and it's pretty fantastic. When it's all hot like that, too. Yeah.
I don't see anything wrong with a cookie.
No.
No, it's delicious, but like,
I was more critical of the term. I had never heard
Pizookie?
Pizookie before.
Have you heard of a Pizookie before, Sarah?
No.
No,
But
Skillet
I was
Cookie.
going to say, like, I love a good skillet cookie.
Yeah.
My favorite dessert is cheesecake, but I would
Delicious.
never hate anyone for thinking that a skillet cookie is their favorite
She wouldn't
I would.
hate.
I'm gonna definitely
because
hate.
it's delicious.
I mean, and he called it Pizookie. That's what kills me.
Which
Well,
we
that-
found out
It's
is a registered trademark of some chain restaurant.
BJ's out in the West Coast.
Do you know it?
I've been to BJ's out in the West Coast in the Fashion Valley Mall, I believe it was.
All right, stop it.
Deloach.
Deloach. Can we see that graphic I shared, Sarah? Okay, it's pretty fitting that we're talking about Zach Deloach. So this is from
Oh my god.
at Go Cubs 49, Steven, who is a contributor to Diamond Digest. This is team leaders in win probability added from Fangraphs. The light blue, even cyan, if you want to call that, is the starting pitchers win probability added. The dark purple, violet maybe.
The deep purple?
Yeah, deep purple if we want to go smoke on the water, is hitters, and that light pink is relief pitching. As you can see, the White Sox have the worst bullpen in all of Major League Baseball, and you can see that they have the worst hitters in all of Major League Baseball. The biggest thing that sticks out about this White Sox team is their inability to hit. The starting pitchers have been impressive, and you look at their top 4 valuable players on Baseball Reference, right? It's all starting pitchers. Flex.
Yeah, it was 4 if you count number 1, who is the leader in B-War is Eric Fetty, who hasn't been on the team in 2 months, but yeah.
Still counts.
Yeah.
And the bullpen has had its ups and downs. Obviously, it's been a little bit shaky. But you look at that, and for most of the 29 teams, there isn't a negative value for bullpen. So we see the White Sox going out and spending all that money on their bullpen within a contention window, and it does seem like more of a mistake. And the White Sox not spending money this year, I'm not too upset about going into free agency. But I would like and really appreciate if the White Sox start to build out their team mainly by purchasing free agents and then trying to build up that bullpen from, the ground up and getting whoever you can who seems interesting and just getting a rotation of guys. It seems very easy for bullpens to really level out or be, pretty average, and it's the other hitters that are really defining whether it goes well or not for them.
Well, I think to speak to that in somewhat of positive terms, if you look at the White Sox right now, and you had to pick a strength, you would say that it was pitching depth in the organization, right? And so there are a lot of guys who we've pointed to even this year who could be part of the starting rotation moving forward. There are guys in the minor leagues who you would think would be part of the starting rotation going forward, namely Noah Schultz and Hagen Smith. I think the idea is that if 3, 4, 5 of those guys hit and they make up the bulk, if not the entirety of your starting rotation, your pitching depth is so good that there's a bunch of guys who can't make your starting rotation and they become part of that bullpen mix. So you talk about building a bullpen from the ground up. Rarely, if ever, is it about, all right, we're going to identify that guy in the draft to be our future closer, or we're going to identify these guys who are only 20 or 21 years old to come up and be our setup man 3 years from now. It's, okay, arms, go out and pitch. We're going to take the best 5 of you and put you in the starting rotation. Everybody else, you want a path to the major leagues? You can be in our bullpen, and you can use that talent to help the major league team in another way. So I'm not saying that's how it's going to pan out, right? All you got to do is look back to 2005 and look at that bullpen and say that was cobbled together from guys who had been around, who were from all over the league, and many, many bullpens across baseball, including the White Sox bullpen right now, is often built in that manner where you pick up guys who are kind of floating around, be it via trade or free agency or a minor league deal here or there, and you put it together. So I'm not saying that it is going to pan out in, all right, take your 5 top pitching prospects, the rest of them put in the bullpen, and that's it, you've done your work. But when you have a lot of pitching depth, you could see some of those other guys who might not end up being your 5 top starting pitchers or your 6, 7, 8 top starting pitchers finding their way into useful roles through the bullpen.
I've criticized the White Sox for a lot of things this year, but this year and how they found bullpen arms, where they started off with the bullpen is not where they are right now. They found money with Gus Varland. He's pretty solid in his appearances with the White Sox. And you were been talking about Fraser Eller. Like, he looks...
I would never say I've been talking about Fraser Eller.
When we're watching,
he's got nice hair.
When we're watching
He's
that
got
game, you're
nice
like,
hair.
You're like, man, this man is decent. 97 up top. Fraser Eller's been good in his White Sox.
It's been surprising about Fraser Eller, but I don't know if I've been talking about Fraser Eller. I don't think about him
Sean
often.
is stopping everyone he passes on the street. He's saying, hey, have you heard of Fraser Eller?
I'm not.
Have you heard of Fraser
It's
Eller?
like that show on Channel 5? No, it's terrible. But he's been good.
I love David Hyde Pierce.
You got these guys on the team, instead of spending big-time money on free agents to come here and be mediocre, you go and do the thing that the White Sox have done. Just find arms and see if they can do anything. And if they can't, it's no harm, no foul. I mean, what will we ever see guys like Gus Varland on this team if we have a high-priced free agent on this team? No. You're going to see these pitchers because of the White Sox just throwing things on the wall and seeing if they stick. And this is the year, next year's the year to do exactly that. Find a guy that is washed out as a starter that you could see, okay, we just go a shorter time in his innings, and then he can be a good reliever, Michael Kopech. And other players like that. I mean, Carson Fulmer, while he's not great at the Anaheim Angels, he's better than he was with the White Sox as a guy that's just shortening down what he throws and throwing harder during his outings. I think they switched Peyton Paulette in the minor leagues to a reliever. I think they did the same thing with Jarrett Kelly. So if you're a failed starter or a guy that's not doing the job in the minor leagues as a starter, I think those guys can rise up quicker by being a pretty decent bullpen arm.
I think every single day I see a new video from Tread Athletic with some free agent or some guy that is throwing after 5 years and he's hitting like 98. I mean, these guys, you can literally find these guys on the street.
Yeah,
I would rather them not pay $5.5 million and give me a shot, I guess.
Justin Anderson hadn't pitched since 2019 before this season in the major leagues.
And he pitches every day now.
And now he pitches constantly. Yes.
His arm is going to fall
Well,
off.
I mean, and you bring that up too. I mean, the reason they made those free agent investments in relief pitchers was because they thought they had found guys who not only were successful, but were consistent, right? Mm-hmm. The thing with relief pitching is you have basically no idea what somebody's going to be from one year to the next. Mm-hmm. But they thought they had identified guys who were as consistent as they could be. And to be fair, a guy like Joe Kelly was, and a guy like Liam Hendriks certainly was, right? But that doesn't even work out. You got a guy who might end up in the Hall of Fame for being a relief pitcher who was DFA'd today by a team that's going to play in the playoffs. He was their closer. They DFA'd their closer today because he has not been good.
Sam Miller brought up that
former White Sox Craig Kimbrell is who I'm referring to, by the way.
That Kimbrell in his last 18 innings, Sam Miller said that he lowered his career ERA plus from 173 to 158.
What?
Yeah.
Career?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy
he's that
smokes.
bad.
I've never seen anybody be a surefire Hall of Famer to being probably not.
I think it's really difficult it's obviously really difficult for relievers to get into the Hall of Fame. So I think he wasn't going to get in just because
he was on that trajectory. He was one of the best.
There will be conversations when he is eligible that are questions. Oh, will he get in? And it won't be ridiculous.
I think that Boston World
similar
Series
to Wagner.
His Boston World Series is where I think that derailed, where he couldn't get the outs, and Chris Sale had to come in and finish that game off.
What about his illustrious White Sox career?
Oh man.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that.
Like, he was bad with the White Sox. He was bad with the Padres. He was kind of bad with the Cubs.
Yeah.
Until he was great with the Cubs.
Yeah, and then that's why he got the White Sox.
Kimbrell has a Rookie of the Year and 9-time All-Star. Billy Wagner, 7-time All-Star. But Wagner has a ERA plus of 187. Kimbrell, 158, as I said earlier?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm not saying he's going to get into the Hall of Fame. My thing was that when he is eligible, it will not be a ridiculous question to say, oh, will he make it in? As it is with a lot of guys who just kind of get put on the ballot.
Is it 70%?
75%.
So, I don't think he gets 75.
But the Jaws thing where you take the best 7 years of his career, I think some people would say he's got one of the strongest cases for how he started his career. And then since then, it's just been friends. Just really bad.
Similarity scores from Baseball Reference gives Billy Wagner the most similar pitcher is Craig Kimbrell at 951.
There you go.
So I think Wagner's best 7 years is insane too. I mean, he finished 4th in the Cy Young vote once. So I don't know. We'll see. But it's interesting to see what will unfold. Speaking of history, this White Sox team will be in the Hall of Fame one day because they will likely lose the most games in a season. They need to win 6 of their last 9 to avoid being the lone record holder?
Correct. They would. Yeah. If they
So even
they
if
need
they
3
lose-
losses to tie and 4 to break.
I feel all right against them against the Angels, but there's 6 more games there that I don't think.
Also,
that
they just lost 2 of 3 against the
That's
Angels.
true.
And with 2 teams
this
that
one
are
was close.
and 2 teams that are vying for the playoffs in the Padres and the Tigers.
Yeah. Oh well, and that's the thing too. I mean, the Tigers are going to smoke the White Sox.
Their season might be on the line.
Yes.
I mean, I would believe so.
Aren't the White Sox like 3-35 against the AL?
Yeah,
Central
they've
teams
only
that
won
aren't
one
the
versus the
Guardians?
Tigers. But that would be a chance for the White Sox to get a little. Hey, we can ruin their playoff.
They'd have to have
hopes.
talent.
They have to, but
They're 1-9 against them and have been outscored 58-29.
Tigers are not that good, except for Tarek Scuba. He's really goddamn good.
I think they're pretty good against the White Sox.
Oh,
the Tigers,
everybody
aren't
is.
the Tigers the best team in baseball since the 4th of July?
No, they've been kicking ass. They've been kicking ass and taking names, but I don't think they're that good. I hope for their demise.
I think they're a lot better than the freaking White Sox.
I mean,
hey, I don't know. It seems very likely that this is going to be their fates of being the worst team ever. We're getting closer and closer to it. 9 games out. Any thoughts on, being 4 games is their tragic number, as Lawrence Benedetto has framed it?
Yeah, I think that it's sad that they can't do it on the road. I'm fascinated by what the reaction will be if they can do it at home versus the Angels, which is their only opportunity to do it at home. Either the Tuesday, Wednesday, or the Thursday they play the Angels. I'm fascinated to be there at the ballpark. Hopefully, I'm not going to buy double tickets. So if they get swept by the Padres, I'm buying a ticket for Tuesday, and that's it. And if they don't do it on that day, I'm not going to go to the other games because I can't just keep on chasing around the White Sox until they set their record. So I think the White Sox fans are going to cheer. They're going to have a great time on that day when the White Sox set the record for most losses in a season. Because what else do we have to cheer for?
I mean, I think as I've said in relation to numerous other things throughout the season, this has long seemed like inevitable. With the pace that they played coming out of the All-Star break, they've basically set this up as something that was going to happen a while ago. And while obviously anything can happen, they could win 7 games, I guess, but that doesn't seem very likely. There's going to be a lot of headlines when it happens. There's going to be a lot of tweets that go out that are, oh my God, the White Sox are officially the worst team ever kind of thing. But we've all known this was going to happen. And so if you're asking for a reaction, I think it's probably will be, there'll be a lot of people making jokes on Twitter, and we will all be like, yeah, you could have made that joke 3 months ago.
I think we have been just making those jokes for 3 months at this point. The other topic that we'll wrap up on is the 78. There was the boat cruise that we weren't invited to.
Hey, we're not.
I don't know if our invitations got lost.
Yeah, we're not legislators.
No, we're not legislators. Legislation, I believe some private equity folks were out there, and some of the politicians spoke to the Chicago Tribune, and this is from Representative Marcus Evans. We say no because we all want a shiny new car. Shiny new cars don't move me. It's all about finances. And then what Emmanuel Welch said, what I'm hearing out there when I talk to people is they're worried about their grocery bill. They're worried about paying their mortgage. They're talking about the things that impact folks at kitchen tables. They're not talking about stadiums. It was a beautiful baseball field with a great view. But again, that does not change the conversation about who pays for it. I think the talk earlier in the year, what it was 7 months ago, when Jerry Reinsdorf was seen in that sick leather jacket, asking for $1 billion of state funds. What do you think of the 78 and the state that it's in, especially after the legislators' reactions?
I'm glad they didn't go for the shiny toy. They're grown adults. What does Jerry think this is? His partner in crime, the one that gave him the building that he's currently at, and Big Jim Thompson, is no longer with us. I think they went to law school together, so they had a kinship. But there's no kinship between him and J.B. Pritzker. J.B. Pritzker is down. If he had to choose, I would guess that he'd be choosing for the Bears Stadium instead of the White Sox Stadium.
He made some comments today saying that he's still not really good on any of that.
Yeah. So like Jerry, I don't know what he's still doing the old ass playbook of I'll wine and dine these guys instead of fixing up that ballpark and however he had to put that sod in and all that stuff. You could have just paid money. Like, I know he doesn't want to spend money. And right now, I tweeted this the other day, maybe Jerry's broke. He just doesn't have enough money to actually purchase this land and build the stadium. The land's already purchased, but doesn't have enough to build the stadium by himself because he keeps on going as a billionaire, hat in hand, down to Springfield to borrow money from them. And they said no then. And then now when he's whining and dining these guys, they're like, yeah, that's not Illinois politics right now. I mean, it might be still, but you're not going to be doing this with us, just showing us this nice facility and the great skyline. And we're like, yeah, let's do that. You know how that's the easiest way for you to not get reelected next time? By giving a billionaire $1 billion to build with public money. So no, I think that it's dead in the water. He needs to talk to those private financiers and get them to cobble together $1 billion. Then have your stadium. We'll all go. You'll be having those investors' money back to them within 10, 12 years, easily, because that site is just amazing. Even right now, without a stadium built, it looks like a great showplace for baseball.
Herbie used the term old playbook, and I mean, listen, this kind of thing, I don't necessarily mean the cruise and all of that, but the idea of sports teams owners asking governments to pay for stadiums worked for years and years and years and years and years. And folks have finally woken up, it seems like, or at least folks in certain places, right? Obviously, the state of Nevada seems perfectly ready to go ahead and build that stadium for the A's, maybe. But
Kansas City was just recently said no to the Royals and Chiefs.
Right, exactly. People are
really good.
People are figuring this out, that maybe that's not something that taxpayers should be paying for. And people are welcome to their own opinion. I think ours, all three of us are in agreement that is a good thing, that people shouldn't be paying for baseball stadiums and football stadiums. But I would not be surprised if this is not just going to be the end of this. You know, I mean, I think that this is probably a process. And if you're somebody who's been in the game for decades and you're somebody who has gotten the state to pay for a brand new stadium under your tenure, why wouldn't you go ahead and try it again before moving on to having to pay it privately or yourself or through investors or what have you? So this is probably a topic that isn't going to go away because, you know, things are still going to be out there. But in terms of, you know, when you got the governor coming out and saying, yeah, I don't think people or this government has an appetite for doing that right now, that to me is pretty definitive. But as we know, things can change with elections and all sorts of stuff. So I would not be surprised if this is not the end of this conversation.
And the thing is, too, with the Kansas City Chiefs thing, I've heard rumors about going to the Kansas side of Kansas City, because the Kansas side is like, hey, man, we'll pay for that damn stadium. If the Missouri people don't want to pay for it, that's the leverage that they can have. I don't think Jerry has any leverage. Like, the Nashville thing is dead in the water. We pretty much poo-pooed it when it happened, when he met with the mayor. So his only option is to go through the government, and that seems like that's dead in the water. And now you have to do another thing that he probably doesn't want to do, which is go into his own pocket with a lot, if not all, the money.
He's not going to do that. I mean, he's 88 years old. What I think he's trying to do is at least get some either private investment or at least create a strong idea of a plan with Realty Midwest, where that,
related Midwest,
relegated Midwest.
Realty would make sense. You're a realty company. But it seems like it's more of, let's create an idea for something, because again, this will be $1 billion project. I don't think, what that hole in Chicago sat for like 12 years, right? They were trying to build that one.
Oh, the Spire?
Yeah, the Spire.
Yeah.
That just sat there for 12 years. This baseball stadium or field might just sit here for 12 years.
Someone put a backstop up and let the kids go play.
Let's go. Seriously. It's easily one of the best fields in Chicago. I don't know. It's just, you look at when they were running that playbook back in the 80s, and Reinsdorf wasn't a billionaire at that point, but it's funny how these guys in the 1990s got all this money, the state money from the state to build these stadiums, and then their net worths just skyrocketed. It's
weird.
Crazy.
It's odd.
And then all the TV money that they ended up getting, weird.
He's going to get more now?
He deserves it. We're going to wrap it up with CHGO White Sox podcast. I think he's just really looking for someone else to come buy the team, and then you have the idea of a new stadium, and that person hopefully has enough private money of their own to build that and take what Related Midwest has a dream for.
How about that Melly Hobson lady?
I think she has apparently a part ownership of the team.
Broncos, right? Oh, are the White Sox?
I don't know if she owns part of the she's George Lucas's wife and owns part
Correct.
of Starbucks, but or was a part of the founding of Starbucks. Anyways, we're wrapping up the show. Maybe Melanie Hobson, but Jerry's also going to live till 2033.
And you could call Star Wars Stadium. People would go.
Sure. That's Vinnie Duber, our CHGO White Sox beat writer. You can follow him at Vinnie Duber. That's Herb Lawrence. You can follow him at Ecknerwall23. I'm Sean Anderson. You can follow me at Sean_W_Anderson. Thank you to everyone for hanging out with us. Hit that thumbs up button. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Goodbye.
It's a good guy.
We all silly like the mayor.